Hi, everybody. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad that you found your way here. Happy Sunday, wherever you are. And I'm so glad that you're here. So just click like, subscribe, share. You know what to do. I am going through the energies of September today, as well as I'm not quite sure yet if it's going to be a pick a card or all 12 signs. So we're going to see. I know I wrote all 12 signs. I'm sorry if we don't do that. I will change the title so you don't feel misled. But I'll feel into it because I feel like it's almost a pick a card that's coming up. But we'll also do a Q&A at the end, which of course is always donation appreciated. So you'll find the links to that either in the chat at the bottom of the chat, as always, or in the description box. I will also post the link to where you can provide support, right? I need to call it support here where I'm at. Donation triggers all kinds of bells, but you'll find it in that section on my booking page, okay? So there you go. I will post it once I'm able to pin it to the top. Yeah, I'll pin that to the top in a minute. But anyways, I hope you guys are doing great. It's September 1st, the first day of I don't know what. It's already an interesting energy that's coming up. I've been hearing stories upon stories. Tomorrow is a new moon in Virgo, and it is opposite Saturn, which is interesting, but it also coincides with Mars square Neptune, and that is more important. Mars square Neptune, that is a really an interesting energy, and we'll dive into that a little bit. But it just goes to show, like, it's kicking off the next 3 months, which are going September, October, November, which are going to be probably some of the most transformative months in your life or in the collective experience. When we look back on these 3 months, we're going to be seeing that this is where a lot of things shifted, happened, revealed themselves, moved forward. And I'm not going to say that they're going to be easy, because that would clearly not be quite fully true. So there are some easy moments, and it depends on how you encounter the energy, how deep it's going to go. But if you roll with the energy, like I always keep saying, like when the when the garbage truck is coming by, what do? You take your garbage and you dump it on the truck. You don't hold on to it. You don't defend it. You don't try to anchor it in. You don't get defensive in any which way, shape, or form. You release and you let go. And if you make the choice to let go of something, then it's much, much easier than when something is taken away from you. I think we can all agree on that. So it's really that simple. So before we dive into the collective, we're going to do a little bit of a meditation, a little bit of a breathing exercise, just to center and ground ourselves. And those of you that are new here to my website, welcome, welcome, welcome. I've turned the comment section on for subscribers. So it doesn't really matter how long you've been subscribed to the channel, just click subscribe and then you can drop a comment in the comment section as well. So let's get going with these energies. But like I said, before we do that, let's just do a mini meditation together, where we just take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth, and allow yourself to completely relax. Allow your body to receive everything it needs. And as you're taking that deep breath in, you're imagining you're breathing in prana, you're breathing in life force energy. You're breathing in the Holy Spirit. And you're remembering that this breath is something more than just a breath. Breathing is the first thing that you do when you come into this world, the last thing that you do when you leave this world, and probably one of the most unconscious things that you're doing throughout your life. It is so important. How long can you live without eating? How long can you live without drinking? How long can you live without breathing? This breath is God's connection to you. The breath that you believe is your breath is a breath that flows through all things, through all universes in some way, shape, or form. It flows from the divine into all things. It flows through our galaxy, our solar system, our earth. Around the earth is the wind, through the mountains and valleys, through the oceans, rivers, lakes, forests, deserts, through all beings, the finned, the furred, the winged, the four-legged, the two-legged, the no-legged, even through stones and rocks, deep into the earth. This breath has seen everything, is everywhere. There's nothing you need to hide from the Holy Spirit. And so whatever's going on in your heart, in your mind, you can just let it be. Just allow it to be at this moment and just breathe. And breathe the Holy Spirit into that. Allow the Holy Spirit to accompany you. Show the Holy Spirit everything. And see what happens. The breath breathes you. And you can allow it in. It is God knocking at your door ever so gently. Always. And every breath you allow, you receive, you say yes. And you're reminded that this breath is not yours. It flows from God to you. Because when your time has come, you can't say, I'm going to hold on to this breath. I'm going to breathe one more breath. Or I'll breathe 5 breaths and then I'm done. No, the breath itself leaves you when the time has come and returns to its maker. So breathe deeply and remember that God is in that breath. God is always right there with you. You are never alone. There is nothing you have to hide. And you simply breathing and receiving the breath gives you the right to be alive. One more deep breath. And allow that breath to go through your entire body, through all your systems. your skeletal, your muscular, your nervous, your lymphatic, your hormonal, your skin, your hair, your eyes, your heart, all your organs. Breathe. Breathe out through your hands and your feet. And we are so happy you're alive. Okay, let's get into the energies of September. And they've already been rolling in the last couple of days. Those of you that are sensitive to it, you have been picking up that things are picking up. Literally, the energies are getting more and more intense, more and more intense things are happening, more and more intense wake-up calls are happening. People are experiencing more and more intense connections, thoughts, insights, visions, dreams, but also experiences that are meant to remind you what's real and what's true. And the shaking of the tree, that's what I'm hearing. The shaking of the tree is happening and the fruit is falling. And by the fruit of the tree, you will recognize them, it says. And the shaking is happening and it's going on in waves through everything. And Mars square Neptune is kind of, it's kind of that. It's kind of that. So we already know that these next 3 months are going to be interesting as Pluto retrogrades, but it's deeper than the astrology. It's deeper than that in the sense that the astrology is reflecting what is already happening. It's not dictating what is happening. It's really reflecting. And it really, really, really feels as if this is a make or break it point for many people. Either you give up and everything crashes, or you keep fighting, you keep pushing, and you really make the changes internally that you have to make in order to make the shifts in your outer life. Either you take this opportunity that is being presented to you, or you see it as a grave injustice, you see it as unfair, life hates me, and I'm just going to lay down and let things happen to me. It's you can get rolled over, or you can choose to go with the flow and make things happen. Yeah. So it's I'm saying this, but it's really deeper. Like, I mean, people are going to, I feel, lose things, lose people, lose situations, lose opportunities, lose connections. There's some kind of a cutting off that is happening over the next, I know I'm supposed to be doing September, but I'm seeing it over the fall. And it really is ultimately it's beyond good or evil, because the universe is beyond good or evil. We're in that two-dimensionality of good and evil, but the universe is beyond that. It's just a balancing of the energies, if you will. It's something that needs to happen for our life to continue on a different level. I really feel like I was driving in from town the other day and sitting at a red light and looking around at the buildings and the tall buildings and these are old buildings where I live, and they're very, very tall as well. And it just made me think, what kind of people wanted to build that, came up with the idea to build up and to go high. And even though they had room and they had space to expand, it wasn't like back then that they had the living problems that we have now. So what made them want to build up? What made them want to build these grand cathedrals and what made them want to create that and recreate their version of heaven on earth, so to speak? And the sacrifices that it took to make things like that happen. And so it's similar today. It's like, if you want something to happen in your life that is monumental, that is big, that is massive, are you willing to pay the price? Because there's always a price. There's always a tax that's paid. Now, when I first moved to Mexico a couple years ago, and a couple years ago, several years ago, um, I remember an acquaintance of mine, she says to me, Karleen, I hear you have all these plans and you're going to do this and this is how it's going to work. And I had everything mapped out because I'm that type of person that just maps everything out, right? And so she's saying Mexico does with you what Mexico wants to do. Mexico has its own energy. It has its own ideas and concepts of what you need. And either you roll with it or you pay the price. And that's pretty much what happened. The first night that I landed in Mexico, I remember that I'd never been to, well, I was in Costa Rica before, but only for a week. And so it was my first time in Latin America. And the first night I landed, I was seriously scammed, which could have ended very unwell. Let's just say I ended up on an unknown highway that wasn't tolled. Those of you that have been to Mexico, you know that the difference between the tolled highways and the regular highways, with an unknown driver with a flat tire, a car that had run out of gas. It was 7 p.m. at night, and I had 2 big suitcases with me because I was planning to stay for a while, and I was a girl. And I wasn't doing the backpacking thing, you know, I was doing the Airbnb thing, so staying longer term at various Airbnbs. And I remember standing on the highway hitchhiking, you guys, hitchhiking, and thinking, oh my God, how did I get here? You know, hitchhiking in Mexico on an unknown highway, no cell coverage, nobody knows where I'm at, and what's going to happen to me next. And the joke was, and I realized that much, much later, like about a year later, it finally sank in that I was okay the whole time. But my fear and went into anger, like it went straight into anger that this guy hadn't checked his car, that he didn't tell me he was running out of gas. I mean, I would have paid the gas, you know what I mean? So I was like, what is this? But my driver's name was Salomo. And the first couple that stopped couldn't take me. They could have taken me, but not my suitcases. And I wasn't allowed to leave, about to leave my suitcases with this guy. And her name was Maria. Her husband's name was Jose. She was 9 months pregnant, and they had just gotten a bunch of stuff for their baby that was on the way. And so that's why they didn't have room in their car. I ended up getting into a truck. It was a big, like cross country, huge truck. It was the second truck that stopped that took me with him. And he tried to, I remember the driver tried to crack jokes with me, but I was so petrified with fear. And my suitcases were all the way at the back of the truck. And I was petrified with fear. And I was sitting at the front going, oh my God. And he tried talking to me and I just ignored him. I was just like, leave me alone. Like, just don't talk to me. Just drop me off. But he was so kind. He was so nice. He chatted up a cab driver where I got to, made sure that the cab driver understood what had happened to me, made sure I got to, the cab driver made sure I got to an ATM and all of that. But it could have gone out differently. And that's how Mexico always was for me, always on the edge of things, you know, then the dog bite, then all these other things that happen. And this is the kind of energy that is coming back up around again. And not for me, but I feel like globally, it's almost like sometimes we go through things first, in a sense, in order to be able to speak about that later on. And this is the kind of energy that I'm feeling coming up is this very edgy kind of do right away or pay the tax, pay your price, you know? So I got myself into that situation out of naivete. I was naive, but the universe is not allowing you to be naive anymore. It's kind of like you have to be willing to live. And you have to be, because that's the one thing that experience woke me up to was I wanted to live. I wasn't ready to leave this planet. I wasn't ready to be, you know, to experience anything more negative than that. I was, what? I want to live. And that's literally the energy that is coming up for the collective. It's like, because the collective has been on this path of self-destruction. So we've gotten to a point where it's either jump off the cliff or fly. And For some people, you're going to realize it on the edge of things, you know, because that's how it is. You're just on the edge of things, so to speak. But when you dive into the energies, you're realizing this is a shift of the ages. So it goes really deep these next 3 months, and just pay attention to the shifts that happen, to the things that go on, to the things people experience, to the waking up of people around you, people saying things to you that you never thought would come out of their mouths. Deep realizations happening, the things that become important to you, you know, like just what's important, what's real and what's not real and what's not important. For example, I see a further decline of Facebook, you know, as social media shifts its focus, right? And it's not anymore like Instagram, Facebook, that kind of narcissistic self, you know, it's going down already, and we all see it, right? So I feel it's moving more into a connective, motivational content, and a more positive, but also people shifting back slowly over the next couple of years into a focus on real world connections. But that's over the next couple of years. So that's the energy that's coming up for the next couple of months is do your work, do your diligence, or pay the tax, pay the price. And it's not a slap on the wrist anymore, you know. It's really be stranded on the highway, surrounded by Maria and Jose and Salomo. And I mean, that should have given me a clue, you know, but when you're in that situation, you're so like, oh my gosh, like the anger I felt. And I remember I was yelling at the guy, and he was trying to tell me how he'd called the police, and the police had the VIN number of the car, and they were tracking it per satellite. And I remember screaming at him, you fucking, excuse me, you moron. Like, that is never true. Nobody's coming to get us. Nobody's coming to help us. And that's when I stuck my thumb out. But if I hadn't gotten that angry, I never would have stuck my thumb out, not on a highway in Mexico. There's no way, like, no. But that anger drove me to do what I needed to do to get out of that situation. And also drove me to realize that I'm not done. I'm not done here, you know? So it's kind of intense what's coming up, and some people are going to recognize it for what it is, and they'll be able to thrive on that. You know, they'll finally be able to break free of whatever has been holding them back. But others might be seriously intimidated by it, and you need to understand what's happening and what's going on. Okay. All righty. So let's see here. I also feel like a mirror is being held up. All of a sudden, as I close my eyes to start choosing the cards, it's just flowing today. So I'm not really too focused on the cards. I see this mirror being held up. It's like one of those foldable mirrors, you know, those porta mirrors. And all of a sudden it's just flip. And the situations that arise mirror to you what's going on. They mirror to you exactly what's happening in your deep soul, and not on your surface mind level, in your deep soul level, what you're creating, what you're doing, what you're feeling, what all those dark corners that you never wanted to explore. It's kind of like a big bright light is shining in those corners, and you can see the dust balls, and it's time to pull them out. It's time to clean up. And I always say that you can't clean a house yourself unless you're seeing what's there, you know, however you see. But you have to see where you need to clean. Otherwise, you're not going to clean it, right? Why would you? So it's the same thing in your internal systems, and as above, so below. So on the micro, so on the macro, so on the collective level, it's going to be the same way, where a big mirror is being held up and the collective is able to see, oh, okay, we're here now. So that can cause, because of all these shifts and changes in the collective and everything going up and down, and we're moving into this weird energy of Pluto retro, Uranus retro, the full moon opposite Saturn, and then Mars square Neptune, which is a biggie. Mars square Neptune can cause all kinds of paranoia, anxiety, health paranoia, all kinds of, because of this misdirected energy, because Neptune can be really, it's the higher octave of Mercury. But if you haven't learned to deal with Mercury, if you haven't learned to deal or communicate with Mercury or utilize Mercury, then Neptune is the next level. It's like that spiritual level of communication. And it can, if you're not stable, grounded, based in principle, value, truth, firmness, it can really go off all kinds of ways. And with Mars coming in, squaring it, and that kind of square energy to Mars, it can go sideways. So it's a powerful energy. It's a very powerful energy, but yeah. So that's just, I'm just putting that out there. So be mindful with that, be mindful. And again, I'm not being negative, it just is what it is, right? So if you're still in that energy of and not to bash those or diss those people, because we definitely need them and we need that energy, but it's part of the grand piano of vibrations and energies of that love and light, you know, and you're only playing that one key and you're supposed to play the entire piano. It can become very limiting because you don't know what to do. You don't know how to stand up. You don't know how to be firm. You don't know how to be strong. You're just being buffeted by the winds and hoping for the best. And you can't do that in these energies because it's really showing who you are. It's demanding you show who you are and what you stand for. Okay, so let's dive in. Let's dive in. September energies, please. September, what's going on? A lot of people, this is another month where we've got the Eight of Cups coming up. So immediately it feels like I think already there have been over 30 or 50 celebrity passings this year. There's a list somewhere online because it's interesting. And so this is another card where a lot of people think like the death card shows death. It doesn't. For me, where just as a side note of interest, I think we should be mature about death now. I think that it's time to stop this huge taboo around something that is going to happen to each and every single one of us at some point, and is as much a part of life as growing up. And so while I don't predict death, I can't do that. I do see certain markers, and some of the markers are for me in the tarot, are the Ten of Swords and the Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups can really indicate a releasing, a letting go. This is too tough. This is too hard. I can't do it. So whereas the Ten of Swords is more, I'm overwhelmed by this, and this energy overwhelmed me and took me out. The Eight of Cups is more of the energy of, I'm releasing this, I'm letting go, and I'm rising up to higher that way. So this card showing up right away, I'm feeling like this is a month where people will want to, if they do it or not, that's something else, but they will want to let go. They will want to stop battling. So why is life so hard? Why is life so complicated? Why is life so deep? Why can't it just be fun? And it does feel as if this will cause a refocusing as well, where people start refocusing, generally speaking, collectively speaking, on higher energies, on lighter energies, on deeper causes, on really how to focus their lives into something productive on a spiritual level. Okay, again, I'm not predicting anything here. me just turn down my fan. It is hot, but this fan is making me cold. But immediately this card showing up is showing a desire to ascend, a desire to enlighten. Okay, what else is coming up, please, in September? September, the month of September. I'm telling you guys, the Eight of Swords, and this is not knowing what to do, and literally praying for guidance, praying for faith, praying for direction, praying to not have to go through this. And yeah, spirit keeps bringing up me on that highway. That's literally all I'm seeing. Like, it literally took me back, and I haven't thought about this in years, because this was back in 2018. And I keep thinking of me on that highway, and literally I was saying to God, look, it's not my time. I know it's not my time. You know it's not my time. So you need to figure this out. And he did. He did. That truck driver showed up, like I said, you guys, and I'm here to tell you about it. And this is that kind of moment. This is that kind of moment. There's nothing I could do. I didn't even know where I was. I had no clue where I was. I had no clue where I was. I didn't even know where I was. It was so disorienting. And yeah, yeah, yeah. This is that kind of a moment where humanity has no clue where they are. They don't know what they're doing. They're praying for guidance, for help, and for hope. And some are wanting to leave everything behind for something better. Next card, please. We've got the Seven of Coins. So this is, I'm telling you guys, this is not an easy read, nor is this, but it's a short time. That confirmation I keep getting from Spirit is it's a short time. It's a brief time. You can do this. You got this. This is like the last push, you've done your run for the day, you've done your 5K, and you're on your way. It's like the last 100 meters or whatever, the last 50 meters, and you're just giving it your all, and you're just sprinting. And this is what it feels like. So with the Seven of Coins, or the Seven of Grain, right? Everybody's looking at, why have the seeds not taken? Why is humanity the way it is? How do we have all this information? How do we know so much, and the seeds haven't sprouted? They haven't grown what we've intended them to grow. What went wrong? How can we do better? And this is actually a good thing. A self-reflective humanity is a good thing. It's a really good thing. What else is coming up, please? So this is a little deeper than I wanted to go, but that's how Spirit connects with me. That's how I connect with Spirit. And it just is what it is. And I just go with the flow. So yeah, the last card is the Sacrifice. And this is interesting, the Two of Swords. And this is exactly what I was speaking about in the beginning, that you have to be willing to make some form of a sacrifice. And you get to decide, though, what you sacrifice. And remember that sacrifice is to make sacred, to make something sacred. It's not just giving something up painfully for no reason except to appease some mysterious God. No, it's making something sacred. It's making your experience sacred. It's making something holy, right? And so there's the unwillingness within humanity to make something holy, right? And we see it in our mundane lives. Nothing has meaning anymore. There's no holiness in our experiences. There's no mystery of life. Everything is just rote living, just boring life. And while we seek the mystery, we're unwilling to make something holy. And so we're going to be called out on that, right? And what does life mean to you personally? What does life mean to the collective? What does life mean to us all? And are we willing to do something for life? Are we willing to give something back to life? Are we willing to contribute to life and to the energies of life? What are we willing to do? I think you guys know what I'm talking about, so I don't need to go deeper into that. But remember that this Two of Swords, this card, it shows Abraham and Isaac, right? And God testing Abraham's faith, and God saying to Abraham, sacrifice your son to me. And Abraham didn't twitch. He went and prepared his son, prepared a location. And just as he was about to sacrifice, and a lot of people have trouble with this story because they feel like God is psyching Abraham and that it's kind of malicious actually to do something like that. And if God knows his people, doesn't he know Abraham, if God made Abraham, and so on and so forth. But I'm not fully at a conclusion what I think about this story, so I'll just let it stand there for you to figure out what it does with you. But there's so much to be said about the Old Testament and the God of the Old Testament and on and on and on, which I'm not going to get into. But the thing is that Abraham was just about to sacrifice his son, and an angel of the Lord shows up and says, no, stop, and finds a ram or a sheep in the bush, and Abraham then sacrifices that. And God is happy and appeased and says, you have done right. And now I know I can trust you. Now I know that who you are. And so it's a moment where Abraham shows who he is. It's a moment where Abraham shows what he's about. It's a moment where Abraham shows that he believes so much in this force that he's willing to make something holy. He's willing to make something past logical understanding, past rationality, past pure mysticism, just pure faith, pure belief, pure surrender, if you will. And he is then rewarded for that. So the question here is, with the fourth card, is what are we willing to make holy? What are we willing to see as holy in our lives? So not to fall into superstition, but into holiness, to rise up into holiness. Okay. I hope that makes sense, but that's how it's coming through for me. And whatever it does with you, it does with you. So let's see what the issues are on the table that the collective may face. And I hope you guys are doing great. Let me check the chat here. Renewal, says Galacticness. Yeah, I don't, is it a renewal? I don't feel renewal. It's something else. Okay, collective events, please. Events of September 2024. What can we expect? So yeah, the cards that come up of the overall energy are new beginnings, Ace of Grains, and we see how the collective is standing there looking into this new land, and we see the promise and the protection of the Empress. The Empress also represents creativity. Now, Mother Mary is also a very protective energy, a gentle protective energy. So it feels as if this energy is representing that our new beginning is under a spiritual protection. This new chapter that we're moving into, we are literally moving into holy lands or holy energies, if you will. And it feels like it's under a kind of a protection. We are protected, we are guided. Okay. There's also there's a call again, and it's coming around the topic of femininity, womanhood, women, leadership, that kind of thing. So these topics around femininity, women, how we treat the female, and how the energy of the female has been seen as less than for so long. And this is not about gender, it's about the literal energy, how that masculine 80s drive to the external, achievement, overcoming, build, 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 all of that has been seen as positive, and the feminine relaxing, receiving, not really doing, but being, has been seen as something less desirable. And it's so deeply ingrained and entrenched in most of us that many women will feel attacked even if you speak to them about their masculine way of going about things, and that they don't need to be that way. So this is going to come up. And how can we shift our societies and our cultures to also accept feminine energies, feminine ways of going about things and doing things? This this also, and this is such a deep reading, you guys. I'm like, but I'm a messenger, right? So I have to say what's coming. This also goes into the topic of race. So the races, the children of the earth, and the races of the earth, and how we are all the earth's children. And people finally need to realize this. There's still a contingent too deep, stuck in the subconscious of too many people still, that this is not a topic or this is not important. And it's coming up. It's coming up because we cannot enter the promised land divided. It's just not going to happen. Okay. So what's coming up here? Trying to come back down into more relatable terms. Page of Coins, and again, this new beginning aspect is coming up. And small beginnings, very small steps, small beginnings in a new direction. That's what we're going to see in September. Very small steps, but in a new direction. Here we see the division as the next step, the Two of Wands. And this visualization of the new world that we're all facing, but which one is it going to be? And this is really the crossroads. Like, we've been, since the galactic harmonic convergence in, I think it was 1987 or what have you, there's been a definite direction. I mean, the direction was there before that, but that was a definite, this is the path where we're going to go down as developing humanity. But this is another energetic hotspot moment. Which direction we're going to take as humanity, how we're going to evolve over the next, I don't know, I heard century. And this is the coming of the new man. I'm not kidding you guys. It is, we are living in holy times. We are living in holy times. And we've forgotten how to see things through holy eyes. And we've forgotten to see the holiness in our lives and in the world around us and in each other. And that's part of our problem, our biggest problem, because we are seers. We see to create. And as we say in the you know, and everything's a wave of potential until it's seen and observed, and then it collapses into reality. And as seers, we have to see holy and through holy eyes to manifest holiness. And that's the big problem, because we've lost faith. We've lost faith. Okay. Yeah, this coming of the new man and the physical evolution that is also happening. There's a physical evolution, a physical shift, a physical change that is also happening. It's real, and it's coming right now. There's another aspect to this whole thing, is also that there's a company, I forget what its name, but there's a company that has now developed those robots that we always see in movies that are in your homes and do all the homework for you. And it's real. They're here. So they're fine-tuning it, but those robots should be on the market within a year or two. And they've already shown videos and prototypes, and they're there, cleaning it. And I mean, there's no stopping this development. There's none. So we have to, even more than before, and I feel like this is what people are not realizing, even more than before, we have to focus on our spiritual, emotional, mental development to be able to even hope to steer the super fast development that is about to come, that is about to happen within the next 2 to 3 years. And the thing about the development of our technology as well and AI is that every single one of us can become a programmer, and we no longer have to rely on others to program for us things to work with. For example, the programmers of Facebook or the programmers of your laptop or phone that you're watching me from, or to create all these things. We can just go to ChatGPT and write it ourselves. We can create almost everything that we want soon ourselves. So with undeveloped spirits, what are we going to do with that as a humanity, as a collective, right? We could be creating tons of art, or we could be utilizing it to manifest our deepest wounds that we refuse to heal. And that's the scarier part of this whole thing. And so without the spiritual, emotional, mental development and growth, which comes with hard lessons and sacrifices and learning how to make things holy again, either we choose now, we're going to continue deeper and deeper and deeper into manifesting our nightmares, or we catch it and we're able to utilize these energies and this development to manifest heaven on earth. So it's really it's that deep. So we have to be willing to humble ourselves, the Knight of Pentacles. We have to look at and the collective is going to be forced to look at its deeper narcissistic traits. Remember, some of you guys watch me on a regular, so thank you. And this Knight of Coins card is one of my narc cards, and I'll explain that in a different video why. But on the positive side of things, it's of course the hard worker doing the same things, investing themselves hard into work. But there's a whole different side to it as well. But we're gonna have to have a look at that fallen part within us, that fallen angel aspect within us, and what we're actually doing here, like really doing here. Okay. So that goes for each and every one of us. Like, no man is to be left behind. And no man is not a part of the new creation. And so if you feel you can watch this from the sidelines, you're going to be shown very, very, very wrong. Like, you can't. Okay. Okay. So I'm getting a 4-card pick a card reading. So if you dare, if you dare after that intro. Ah, if you dare, choose a number from 1, 2, 3, or 4. And let's see what's coming up. Hey, so I'll choose 4 cards, and for some of you, you're more visual, so you can decide from the cards Card number 1 is the Queen of Swords. I hope yeah, card number 1 is the Queen of Swords. Card number 2 keeps popping up, 5 of Coins. Card number 3 is the Page of Wands. And card number 4 is the Tower. So all of them together, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Choose your pile. You can use an online random number selector, just type it into Google or however you feel drawn. Okay, so let's start off with pile number 1. Pile number 1, you've got the Queen of Swords, and this is in its peacemaker energy or peacemaking aspect. September, for those of you that chose pile number 1, what's coming up? Let's see. September for pile number 1. All right. The overall energies. Okay. It's going to be a fast-paced month for you. Yeah. Fast-paced. And this is why discernment is key. This is your key to accessing the energies of this month. And the Queen of Swords has everything to do with peacemaking and discernment. And the Queen of Swords is not really focused on herself. That's an interesting aspect about the Queen of Swords because she's so wise. She sees the entire picture. She sees the full picture. And she's not really focused on herself. She's focused on balancing all the various aspects of a situation or a scenario. And this is why she's so focused as well on discernment. And so discernment is your key and your strength this month, really listening into what you feel to do, not necessarily what you see or perceive or how you judge or value someone else or their actions or the situations that you're encountering. It is literally discerning situations and energies, and it's going to be moving fast this month, fast paced. So that's your experience, the Chariot moving things ahead, but also the Knight of Wands energy just flowing, feeling highly energized again, feeling energetic again, feeling like things are moving forward again. It's like some kind of a plug has been pulled for you and things just start rolling and manifesting. But that's exactly the problem, is that things start rolling and manifesting. And if you're not in that discerning, right aligned energy, yeah, okay. So let me see what else is coming up for you here. And that is 8 of Coins. So a lot is going to be focused on your work and on your resources and on learning how to do things the right way. This is about leaving behind your grief. Okay, it's time to, and this might sound harsh, but it's time to stop grieving over something. Some of you may be secretly or openly grieving something and you haven't been able to find a stop to it. You haven't been able to find a close to it. You just don't know how to heal this gaping wound that just won't close. It's not that you want to be in grief. Clearly, you don't want to be. But for some reason, it just keeps sucking you back in, sucking you back in, sucking you back in, and you keep nursing that wound. It's like a dog licking its wound, going over and over and over again. And Spirit's like saying you really have to do the work now. Like you really have to discipline yourself to show up for yourself, to say to yourself, we're not doing this. We're doing something else. We're going down a different pathway. We're going down a different direction. I've deserved something better in life. I deserve to experience more in life. I deserve to be able to unfold myself fully in this life. And this is holding me back from that, this grief, this eternal feeling like I've lost something, I'm left behind, whatever it is. And you'll see that things start to pick up. You actually start to make progress. You'll actually start to make progress. All those things where you thought, oh, that's not going to happen for me, I don't know how to make things come about, you'll start to make progress. So if you've been wondering, for example, why is this not working out for me or that not working out for me, and you finally decide to release this grief or the self-pity, sorry to say, right? And trust me, I've been there. I'm not telling you guys anything that I've been told myself from spirit. But once you really release this self-pity, which is sometimes that elongated grief is self-pity. Once you release that, you'll start seeing things move ahead, and you'll start wondering, oh, why I didn't do this before. And then you'll realize that the problem is actually somewhere else entirely. And that'll lead you into more control over your life. This is the King of Wands. The King of Wands. Now, some of you are also going to be making peace with the King of Wands, yeah? So this may be an ex-partner, this may be a current partner, this may be a boss, this may be someone who's got some kind of an influence or a role in your life, or whom you allow yourself to be influenced by. And it feels as if maybe you rushed headlong into something, headlong into an argument, headlong into a separation, headlong into something. But it's going to be cleared by the end of this month. And it's because you found balance, you found equilibrium, you've given up the self-pity, you're willing to do the work, you've started doing the work, you've really eliminated some of the things that were bad habits. You've started cultivating new and different habits. You've accepted everybody starts somewhere, right? You've let go of the expectation of yourself to be a master before you've even begun, and then giving up because you can't be a master right in the beginning. And you've accepted that, yes, I have to take one step at a time, and I'm going to take one step at a time, and I'm going to achieve this. I'm going to accomplish this. I'm going to make this happen. And it does lead you into a sort of mastery over your own self, but also a balancing and a peacemaking with certain influential, authoritative energies in your life, or energies that you once gave authority to. Let's put it that way. The advice card for you that is coming up. Peace. 6 of Cups. Isn't this beautiful? Peace. Finding peace within. Peace. Finding peace within. But making peace with your memories. The 6 of Cups has to do with your childhood, with your soul, with all these things. There's so many things connected to it. But what I'm picking up right now, the energy is saying is making peace with your memories, making peace with your past. Because it's like you can't move ahead because you keep trying to fix your past. You keep trying to go back and make things undone that happened, because a part of you is going, check. It's like stuck, like a record, like a scratched record going, this shouldn't have happened. This is where I got hung up. This shouldn't have happened. Like, it's like you can't accept that happened in your life, and you keep wanting to go back and fix it. And once you're able to make peace with your past, just accept it happened, move out of the self-pitying aspect of it by choice, and saying, I refuse to engage with this energy any longer, because you can, because it's an experience that you're moving through. It's not who you are. And if you stop defining yourself by it and realizing, I'm moving through this, like I'm moving through a countryside, and I choose to stay here in this, but I can also move on into a different countryside, a different emotional experience, and you choose to do that, and you actually do it, it's going to change everything. So you have the choice. You absolutely have the choice, number one. You can stay stuck in your past and arguing with shadows and shadow boxing with things that weren't supposed to happen according to your narrative, according to your moral of the story. Or you can say, this is what happened, I accept it, and I'm moving on from this now. And that, I feel, will also accelerate this change and this shift that is coming into your life. And you're moving from this sadness, right? And this this feeling of loss and this feeling of losing everything, into actually being humble and joyful and excited about the little things again, and finding that sacredness in your daily experiences and your connections in your life. So it's really powerful on a very subtle level, but it's up to you to allow this subtlety into your life. Okay. All righty, moving on to pile number 2. Pile number 2. And those of you that chose this card. And this one is, of course, this one shows up so much because it's just the times of finding faith in nothing. Having absolutely nothing, having minus, and still bringing up the faith, and knowing that faith can move mountains. Let's see here. Pile number 2. Pile number 2. Pile number 2. Pile number 2. Okay, pile number 2. You've got, wow, okay, cycles and holding on. The 4 of coins, or the 4 of grain in this deck, and of course the Wheel of Fortune. So something's coming around for you, which is actually I feel like you're one of those that tend to hold on to things past their due date, past its prime. And it's not because you don't understand. It's better for me to let go. It's almost out of overly caring more about the other than about your own self. And it feels like you'd want to stop these cycles of time for the other person, to protect them from what is to come for them. There's a very protective energy that emanates from you. And I feel that you really want to protect those that you love. And this is part of what's holding you back. Number 2 is this lack of trust or faith or belief in the life story or the lifeline of others without you. Okay, what else is coming up? Yeah, 10 of Swords. Ouch. These cards are deep. Okay, we've got an ending here, 10 of Swords. So this could mean that in September you may decide to end something, or something ends and has come to the end of the cycle, has come to the end of the chapter, and is ready to move out of your life. But you may be holding on to it. You may be holding on to it and hoping that, it's not its time yet. We've got the King of Coins. There's something around money and making plans for the future, and that you're not really doing that. The Ace of Coins, or the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Grain in this deck. New beginnings and opportunities, and the 8 of Swords coming out. Okay. You're standing in your own way, pile number 2. You're really standing in your own way. Spirit's trying to bring you to a new beginning, a new chapter, a new ocean, a new vision. And you're holding on to the past. You're holding on to the past for whatever reason, but it's run its course. It has nothing more to give you. So this past I'm picking up is not necessarily a situation per se, but it's a way of seeing your own self. It's time for you to recreate your own self-image, how you perceive yourself, how you see yourself in the world, how you put yourself out there. It's like you're the type of person that goes through a stage development process. Some people just grow straight up and then blossom and bloom, and that's it. But you go through like a rocket ship going into space. You go through multiple stages where you throw stuff off, and then you move into the next stage and throw stuff off again. And it feels like maybe this has happened one too many times in your life, whatever, but you're trying to hold on to things and you lack the faith to move into your next step, to move into your next level. It's time to throw everything off again and start anew and start afresh. You've got the number 1 coming up in September, and this means self-determination, willpower, all of that. And you need your willpower for yourself. You need to really focus on what it is that you want to create, what it is that you want to experience, what you want to explore, where you want to be, what you want to do, what you want to express, the legacy you want to leave behind, kind of thing, and move into that. You really have to, you have the opportunity in September to look into that, to step into that, to move into that. I also feel a new opportunity work-wise coming your way. So this may be a promotion, this may be a new job, this may be a new way of working or going about things, but there's something new that's coming up for you in the month of September. And we see that here in the advice card as well. Let the newness into your life. Allow your skin to shed. Allow things to flow away. Don't hold on to anything here. Don't try to be, it's almost as if you think by holding on and by also budgeting with people and with things, if that makes any sense, and having that mindset as if you're being savvy. You think you're being savvy by being like this business-minded, kind of holding on to things, tight budget, instead of just shifting, letting go and pivoting. That's it. That's what I'm feeling, and that's what I couldn't express. It feels like it's your time to pivot, and you're not pivoting. You're refusing to pivot because you think, oh, that would be bad. That would be not continuous, right? Or giving up too quickly or too soon, that kind of thing. So it's time for you to pivot. It's time for you to look at something else, leave behind, because, oh my gosh, it's really starting to come in now. It feels as if, we always think that if we don't bring something through to the end, like we start something, we have to finish it, then we somehow kind of failed. And if we don't reach our goal or what we tried to achieve when we started something like 10 years ago, like that dream that we had, and then we invested everything in that dream and it just didn't work out that way, and we feel like it's a failure. And Spirit's like, we have to remember that not everything in this material realm or world is meant to come about. We're not meant to manifest every dream that we have. That's not what manifestation is about. It's about who we become doing what we're doing to make our dreams come about. And so if you've become that person trying to make something come about, then the meaning of the dream has disintegrated. It has no meaning anymore, because that dream only served to turn you into the person that you became. So once you became that person, the dream had no meaning anymore. And now it's time to dream a new dream, because a new aspect of yourself is ready to come out, is ready to reveal itself, is ready to show itself. And you're still hanging on to that old dream thinking, but I didn't make this happen. I didn't manifest this. I didn't make this goal. I didn't make this marriage. I didn't make this house. I didn't get this car. I didn't get this job. I didn't get this. And you're feeling like a failure for things that you shouldn't feel like a failure for, because you've achieved your goal on a spiritual level. You've become that person. And that's what Spirit wants, is your evolution and development. The different forms that the material world takes in order to get you there are no interest. And so you need to relax away from that, right? Reorient yourself again, reprioritize. And through that, you'll need to have faith, because this world is so powerful in what it sells you as being of importance, and what you need to achieve and accomplish and do to be that person. So it's time for you to release that. Yeah. There's a new dawn for you, and it's time to dream a new dream. Really focus on what it is that you truly want, not what you think that you want. And you have that opportunity in September. Something's going to pop up. Something's going to show up that the pathway that you've been going down is dead. And it's up to you. You can hang on to it, and then be like this person, like just hiding out, not really experiencing anything, not showing anything of themselves, not connecting with anyone, nothing. Or you can expand like this, trusting the process, because you realize again, it's not about the outer forms, it's about you. Okay. All right, so moving on to pile number 3. And that's for those of you that chose this card, the Page of Wands. And I hope I didn't lose you guys today with these readings, because they're not, they're not, that easy to stomach. But at the same time, escapism is not my thing, so that's not how my guide works. That's not how my energy works. That it's not it for me. So Page of Wands, and Page of Wands has to do with messengers, communications. We know that, celebration in this case as well. And let's see what's coming up here for the Page of Wands. Those of you that chose pile number 3 for the month of September. A month of September. For pile number 3. What's going on, please? What's the message they need to hear? Okay. Pile number 3, September. The overall energies. Okay, you've got all right. All right. You've got the Page of Swords and the Lovers. Page of Swords and the Lovers as the overall energies. Pile 3, you seem more focused on the surface. It's going to be about relationships, communication within relationships, how you communicate within your relationship, what kind of communication you allow to have happen. There's also a psychic component that I'm picking up here. You guys pick up on your partners, you pick up on your spouses very easily. There's almost like a telepathic connection between you guys. It feels like there's some kind of a bond, some kind of a connection, some kind of a flow that is happening. And you're wondering about that, because on the one hand, you're thinking, is this really my twin flame, my soulmate, my all of this? Or am I just making it up? It also feels like this connection activates your psychic gifts and abilities. So it goes both ways, right? Through this person, you're becoming more intuitive, more open. Through this relationship, you're flowing more. Now, if you're single, then it feels as if you're dreaming up this relationship into your life. You're manifesting something into your life. We've got a renewal here. The Judgment card. Making choices and decisions. Somebody's deciding for you. We've got the 9 of Pentacles. You've made a clear decision on a soul level that a single life is not for you. We've got the 2 of Cups. Yeah, this is going to be, September is really about relationships for those of you that chose number 3. Like, all the relationship cards are coming up here. And the outcome is the 5 of Wands. And the Hanged Man is your advice. Take things slowly. Okay. I've got some passion and some heat here. So either way, the energies are there. So regardless if you're in a relationship or not in a relationship, it feels like the thoughts, the desires to be connected to another human being in this intimate way are what's going to drive you through September and going to drive your evolution and your change. there's an openness here. I feel like you guys have done a lot of work around healing. So your heart is opening. Your heart is, there's a spaciousness, and it feels as well as if I'm floating just above the ground. So things that happen around you leave you relatively untouched. You found this emotional equilibrium so that no matter what happens, you easily find your point of balance once again. And this is what allows you to really see deeply into your counterpart, and what allows you to see the beauty in them, which allows you to feel the beauty in yourself. And you want to keep this momentum going. So it's almost as if you fall in love with yourself through loving someone else, because they allow you to channel love through yourself and to feel the love that you are. They allow you to be in a loving space. They allow you to be in that space of feeling loved, but also feeling love for someone else and being in that loving energy. So relationships are super important to you. You've made a choice as well to only be in relationships that give you value. So you've really stepped it up on your expectations on what you should get out of a relationship and what you're willing to give in a relationship as well. I do feel strong boundaries around you. I feel there's a protection going on. This is a really good energy, a really good reading. Yes, there's cause for celebration as well. For some of you, there may be a deepening of an existing connection. This may be an engagement. This may be moving together, more of a commitment that is happening in the month of September. Some of you are also working on a story. I feel some of you may be writers. You may be writing romance novels, romance stories. Some of you may be painting pictures of romance. I see women and sunsets and all of those things that you may be painting as well. There's an artistic bend to those of you that chose number 3. But I also feel that you're not someone to rush headlong into things. You're not rushing head over heels into something. You're allowing something to flow. You're allowing something to take its time. You're willing to also be shifted by the experience that you have being connected to someone else. And you're fully cognizant that that's what a relationship is meant to do, is to bring the best out of you, is to change you. You're not supposed to leave a relationship unchanged. That would be a failure. And it's interesting because most of us, we don't want to be changed by other people or by relationships. You're not going to change me. I'm not going to change for you, that kind of thing. But that's exactly what's supposed to happen. Otherwise, a relationship is pointless, right? So you're taking things one step at a time. You're slowing things down. You're feeling life. You're feeling everything. And there's a hesitation to rush into things. You're wanting to savor the moment, enjoy the moment. But there's almost, I feel like somebody is willing to commit to you, but you're hesitating on committing to someone. Okay, that's also what I'm picking up. Like you're really thinking, is this the right thing to do? Some of you have fantastic relationships with your significant others, or you're looking for that person, right? But you have troublesome, worrying connections with your family. Okay, there's a thing with your family where it's just not working, whether that be with your parents, with your children, with your siblings. It's difficult. It's difficult. And you're finding that love in other people, but at the same time, I do pick up on this sadness that you can't have these kind of relationships just as deep and intimate with people that you're supposed to have these relationships with, according to, what we all think about family. So there's a thought process here, like, what can I do? Is it the right time to do this, to talk to them, to share with them? Should I share this with them or not? There's a constant reflecting before you go into connection with family. I feel like this is almost I hesitate to say a reward because it's not a reward, and others listening to this message that shows a different number, it's not that number 3 is being rewarded for good behavior. Spirit doesn't do that. It's just the natural cycle of things because of what number 3 has gone through and put themselves through to get them into this space of joy. So it's really time to pat yourself on the back, number 3. You've done fantastic. It's going to be a smoother month for you, but where you're going to feel the challenges and the slight bite of this energy is in your familial connections. Okay. So there may be people in your family that are jealous of you. You may be dealing with a jealous mother or jealous siblings, but there's jealousy in the family, or maybe either other family members of your core family in general, you know, but there's some kind of a jealousy energy that's in your energy field. And it's not really doing too much damage. You're just aware of it. And you keeping yourself in a higher vibration moves you out of it. Okay. So September looks really, when it comes to relationships and love, really peachy for you. There may be a reconciliation for those of you that have a hard time or had a hard time the last couple months with someone specific or significant, but someone's really going to show up for you, like come through for you in a major way. Okay. Enjoy. And those of you that chose number 4, and this is the Tower card, what's coming up for you in September? The Tower card. Now, the Tower we all know has to do with things breaking down. This may not be a negative thing. We need to stop seeing the Tower as something super negative. It may not be that negative. May not be that negative at all. At all. So let's see what it's bringing up for those of you that chose number 4. And I'm so sorry again, those of you that came based on the title, all 12 signs, I'm going to be changing the title. Once I started and I went into it and I could feel the energy, I was like, oh no, this is not an all signs video. So I hope you stick around though. Number 4. The Tower. Number 4. What's coming up for number 4, please? See somebody in city life with number 4, and it feels like you live in a high rise, you live downtown. There's something around. All of a sudden I saw red brick, like just red brick stones. But I also saw gray walls for some reason. Gray, lots of gray. But it was very clear, just a flash of an image. Could also be the Tower card, you know, literally somebody lives in a tower. Okay, what's going on? September for pile number 4. What does pile number 4 need to know? Pile number 4. You've got, oh wow. Okay, it looks like major money in September. We've got the 9 of coins as well as the 4 of wands. So there's some kind of a success and a celebration here. The 9 of coins also has to do with standing on your own feet, being independent, achieving things on your own in your own way. We've got the Wheel of Fortune, things finally turning in your favor. We've also got the 6 of wands, which is success. Competition as well. That is also competition. You've also got the Ace of coins or Ace of grain as your next step. You've got the 5 of cups as the final. And you've got the Strength card as your advice. Okay. Ooh. I also saw next to that whole, you know, that downtown high-rise cityscape, all of a sudden I saw a safe. I saw a safe, and that safe being accessed, it's in the basement, it's being accessed, like it's huge, it's in a bank basement. And you accessing that safe and being able to open it and receive the goods that are in it. But what you had to do to get to that safe was intense, but it's already forgotten in the joy of the moment of opening that safe. Okay. So that's the energy for September coming up for me. Yes, a lot of success. There's a lot of energy that is around your success. The angels are cheering you on. Everybody's like behind you. But what you need to do to get to that success has a lot to do with self-discipline. For some of you, this can be literally physical. Like I see you doing a physical regimen, a health regimen, getting your health back on track. You may be eating right, you may be working out, and you may be consistent about it this time. And but it also feels when it comes to money and finances that you're taking control. You're taking control of your money and finances, your career, your work. There's a lot of focus and energy and effort that's being poured into this. And I feel like the Tower card that came up for you in the beginning, it's not a breaking down energy. You're building your tower. You're building your castle. Yeah. And while this may look like it's breaking down, I feel like it's a not finished job, a not finished job. That's what it looks like to me here. You know, like a high rise that you see that's in being built. It looks a little bit chaotic, right? And I feel like that's what it looks like here, this tower. It's not breaking down, you're building your tower. You're building your foundations, you're building strength in this month of September for the rest of your life or a long time to come. You're building, you're putting down building blocks. And these building blocks are, of course, mindset, habits, discipline, connections, friendships, casting out friendships that don't work, keeping the people on your path that keep you in a certain mind space where the conversations are good and they're motivating. You don't want to have a certain type of conversation anymore. You're doing all that. And you're also, this is also a very strong card of, you're going to laugh because it comes up so much lately, faith. You're building your faith, your self-confidence, your belief in yourself, your belief in your capabilities, your belief in your abilities. You're investing into yourself again. And that's the best investment you can make. It feels like things are coming around for you. There are some opportunities coming for you in September, but I feel like the biggest opportunity is your decision. You making a decision for you. You making a decision that this time you're going to stick it through. You're going to see it through to the end. You're going to starve your instincts. Oof. That was, I looked at this and I saw the bones down there. And this card says so much. You're going to starve your instincts. You're going to focus on your higher self and pull yourself through. What else is coming up? The negative cards, I'm not feeling are negative, like classically interpreted as negative, like the Five of Cups and the Tower. Yes, there may be a kind of a disappointment coming, but I feel like you're choosing to disappoint others. You're choosing, and not in a negative way. It's just like, I'm not here to live up to your expectations. I'm living up to mine. I'm living up to what I believe in, what I have faith in. I'm doing the work on me. And whatever you get out of that, good for you. What you don't, I'm so sorry, you know, but it's on you. And I feel like you're showing people through your actions this month or the choices that you make this month. You're showing that it's not you, it's them choosing to be in a space of dissatisfaction and unhappiness. I also feel for some of you, a forced new beginning, like a broken relationship. You may be walking away from a relationship, or someone may have walked away from a relationship with you, has forced you to make a new beginning. And you're going into this leveling up energy. I'm going to level up. I'm going to show them what they lost, you know? But what starts off as like Kate Moss back in the day when she said she started modeling because she wanted her ex-boyfriend who had dumped her to see her face everywhere. And he did. What started off as maybe this intention turns into something much, much better, you know, like it becomes your new lifestyle and it becomes something else entirely. So there's some kind of a leveling up that's happening as a result of a disappointment and you building the foundations for your future. And I do feel angels cheering you on because there's this celebratory energy here. Okay, I hope that you can see this. Come on. My gosh, it won't focus, eh? But you guys can see it there for a short, brief second. There's a celebration energy here. So it's a good month, but at the same time, it goes hand in hand with a lot of work for those of you that chose number 4, which is totally fine. And you'll come out on top of it. You will succeed, and you will have started a whole new cycle for yourself. But you will be paying the tax willingly or the price willingly, and it'll work out for you. It will absolutely work out for you. There's also a gift coming out of nowhere. I feel like some of you may be praying for some reason. I feel some of you are praying for something to come into your life, or you need something to happen. You may be praying for money. You may be praying for something. And I'm hearing from Spirit, you'll get it. Like it's on its way to you. The answers to your prayer are coming through. And it's already been done. Just believe that it's already been done because it has been. The answers are, the solution is coming to you. And you're supposed to repeat the mantra, I live in the solution, not in the problem. I live in the timeline of the solution, not in the timeline of the problem. And repeat that to yourself every night when you go to sleep and in the morning when you wake up. And it'll help you shift your mind and your body will follow. Okay. All right. So that was 1, 2, 3, and 4. And let me get back to you guys and let's start the Q&A. So yeah, I'll do another 20 minutes of Q&A. And let's see what comes through. Again, the link for the donation is all the way at the top. It's pinned now, but you can also through the chat. And thank you guys so much that are regulars in my chat, that are here supporting me. I am so happy that you're here. So grateful. And so those of you that are new to the channel and to this cozy corner, welcome. I'm so happy you found your way here and that you stumbled on this live. Yay. All right. So, yep, that's a little, I know it's a little, but the energies are so, when I tap into the energy of the collective right now, it feels like, you know, those times when the barbecue is starting and it's kind of cloudy and at the same time the sun is almost, it's like this weird glow right before sunset kind of thing. And so it's all smoky and cloudy and not foggy, but dim. I don't know. That's what it feels like. It's a very weird vibe going into September. And definitely something coming up around, I cut it. Why do I always do this? I cut it before and I didn't want to say anything, but definitely something coming up around Kamala, and I'll leave it at that. But something, I'll leave it at that. Q&A, not getting political, not muddying this up. I'll do a separate video maybe over on my Patreon or something. If you're not on my Patreon, go check it out. I try as much as I can to upload a little bit more regularly. Life always happens though, so I try. If you have any personal questions, post them in the chat and I'll get to it. And thank you for the likes. Animistic, how does Toby feel for me and where is this connection going? Mm. Um, there's something happening here, Anna, that I don't know, I picked up on. I feel like he's not only talking to you, or there might be someone else that he's still talking to or connecting with, communicating with. There's a focus on the long-term future in between the two of you, but there's a very deep connection between the two of you. There is really a deep connection. We've got the Lovers card on the one end, and we've got the Two of Cups on the other end. But somehow there's somebody else that, now this may be a sister, a best friend, a good friend, who knows, but there's somebody else that he's absolutely sharing or communicating with. But there could be a long road ahead for the both of you together. Okay. Um, but I feel like the Lovers card and the Two of Cups that showed up for you is not necessarily for each of you. It feels like both of you are in a state of love. You're both loving beings, but I'm not yet feeling that what I need to feel to know you're a couple and you're going to go the long distance. There's something else that's mixing in there. I hope that makes sense. Okay. And but he's as authentic, or is as authentic as he can be at this moment, and so are you. You're both coming from a good place. You're in a good space. There's a lot of positive energy around both of you. And this could work in the long term. This could work, but I'm feeling like there's also something about ancestors. It's almost like you have mutual ancestors. It would be interesting to do some kind of a genealogy or something like that, because there's something about your lines way back, because this is also my ancestor card, the 10 of Pentacles. And so either your ancestors brought you together, or there's some kind of a connection way back when, surprisingly. Like, I'm speaking like way back in generations, like 400, 500, 600 years ago, something like that. But there's some kind of a connection between the two of you. There's a deeper connection there. But when it comes to actually being a couple, there's something, some kind of distraction that's going on his end. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Yeah, I think so too, Anna. Yay! Happy birthday to your past mom. Yes, Gal 81. I hope everybody in the chat says happy birthday to Gal 81's mom. Yeah, he has a scattered energy for sure. He does. Joyous day. Should I ask my dad for the money I need for my business? Should I ask my dad? Should Joyous Day ask her dad for the money she needs for her business? There's a yes, King of Coins. So this is a very supportive, supportive, but he will hold you accountable. This is kind of the energy where the hesitation comes in, because I feel an accountability check every now and then, or what happened to my money question, or is, you know what I mean? Like, he's not just going to give it freely, like here it is, and never ask about it again. He'll constantly keep checking up to see how his investment went. Maybe not constantly, but occasionally, but it'll feel like you're a little bit under pressure to be accountable, but you'll be fine. Okay. Hi, Karleen. Hope you're okay. So overwhelmed with my kids. Any advice, please? Yeah. Yeah. That's the energy. I mean, these kids are overwhelmed too. They're going through times that nobody in humanity has ever been through before. Thank you so much for that donation, Elena. Very, very sweet and kind of you. Nobody in humanity has been through these times before. This is absolutely new ground. And so we got to cut these kids slack because they're doing pretty good considering we're all so totally and completely overwhelmed. And yeah. So yeah, I see you praying. I see you absolutely praying. And there's joy. There's joy here in this situation, but an insight is going to come to you. Okay, you're going to receive an inspiration, an answer, an insight from spirit, and it'll become so clear to you. And we see this here both times. So you have to have faith and believe that spirit is right there with you, that spirit sees everything. When you take your breath in, remind yourself this is the breath of God. And God sees everything and is everywhere. Spirit is everywhere. The angels are everywhere. And there is a celebration, like they're all celebrating because you guys are doing well. Your kids are doing well on an energetic level. Okay. So pray, 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 and the insight is going to come to you. I know that sounds, oh, that's what I do already. But remember that these situations are meant to develop us and evolve us in a spiritual level. Okay. Thank you, Danny. So, so sweet of you. Thank you for that donation. Gal 81, any message from my mom if you have one, please? Not right now. Not right now. Not on this live. It could be that she's shy. It could be that she's hesitant. I don't know, even though I don't feel she's a shy person per se. So yeah, not right now, gal. I'm not on that wavelength of spirit messages or mediumistic messages. Those are different vibrational frequencies. So channeling and readings and medium messages. So I'm vibing here and mediums messages would be here. I'm not vibing there right now. Okay. All righty. So that's that, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. And oh, mm, that's it. That's it. That's it. I hope I didn't overwhelm you with the energy for September. And I hope you guys are good. If you have any concerns, worries, or anything like that, just post it in the chat and I'll try to address it. Or if you're watching this video later on, you can post it in the comment section, send me an email, and I'll try to address it. Otherwise, all righty, I'll be signing off for today, and I'm wishing you all the very, very, very best, and take care. It was once again fun hanging out with you and your energies, and mwah. Bye.